Welcome back to the Sly Guy TV. You're watching the Sly Guy, Kaboom, Kaboom, and Super Kaboom. Oh yeah, this card. Card this time. Everybody knows that it is a crime for a first turn hippie dark ritual. The discard deck is here, and this card deck is here, and this card is here and there. Time to discard your opponent's hand with a first turn hippie in the air. I have offended you again, so I guess this is the end. Because everybody knows you're such a snowflake and you're just quite upset at every single thing we said. Everybody knows it's all just in your head. Wasted feeling, going, speaking. You know I have crossed the line when I said that you were mine. Going, skiing, no hard feelings. Since you will not be my girl, this is the end of my own world. Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Sly Guy TV. Yeah, we're fourth inaugural episode right now, and we are going to be featuring the Discard Black deck. This was one of my very first competitive black decks when I started joining Type 2 tournaments way back in 96, 97. I actually decided to use this deck. I think it was 95 when this was legal in Type 2, because when Mirage came out, they rotated everything, and 5th edition came out. So I think it was around 95 when I joined. First turn hippie. Wrecked everyone. No one used Unsummon then. Very few, well, there were people who used white that Swords to Plowshares, red that used Lightning Bolt that could get rid of him, but if you were playing blue and you didn't have Unsummon, then you were screwed by a first turn Hypnotic Spectre. And this was usually followed by an attack to discard one card and a second turn Hymn to Torak, discarding 3 cards on the second turn. Once the opponent has been successfully locked down, you get this card in play, the Rack. Attacking each turn with a Hypnotic Spectre, keeping their hand empty, and with the Rack in play, that is 5 damage per turn. 5 damage. If you have 2 of them in play, that is almost 8 damage per turn with just a single Hypnotic Spectre in play, keeping the cards in your opponent's hand extremely low. So I actually used this card in Hymn to Torak because back then I was playing at a mall next to my mom's office known as Mega Mall, and normally the shop owner was playing this mono blue deck, which was very difficult to beat. I was using mono green with Urnhams, with Crawworms, and I couldn't find a way to beat him. But then I played against another guy who used Strip Mine, who used Hypnotic Specters, and I was just amazed at how powerful the deck was. I was even more amazed of how much it cost to build the deck. It wasn't that expensive back then. I mean, you can get full playsets of Hypnotic Spectre for like $4, 4 full playsets of Hymn to Torak for $1. I mean, the Rack, you can get that for $1 per set. Magic was super cheap. Super cheap way back then. And you could win without having to use the super powerful expensive cards, such as Armageddon Wrath of God. You can win just using this particular amazing deck list, or amazing deck. All right, so basically another way to currently look at it is we have a sneak peek of a deck right here. Need another video of that from my other channel, so you guys can get an idea of what is in the deck. So ideally 4 Hypnotic Specters. You've got Unholy Strengths and Urgraders. Another cool play was a Dark Ritual, Urgrader, Unholy Strength. You have a 4/4 on the first turn. You've got Hymn to Torak, send your Vampire. You've got Drain Life, and of course Pestilence. Okay, now Pestilence is one of the best board wipe cards ever. If you are playing against a deck which does not have protection from black creatures, Pestilence can wreck your opponent, especially if he's using Black Orders and White Black Knights. Man, a single Pestilence can wipe the board. And what's cool is if you have Raiders, it can actually wipe the entire board. It can wipe select portions of the board. Or it can just damage your opponent and kill them. The deck also uses Senjir Vampires. So Senjir is actually there, basically. So each time a creature dies during a turn, okay, so when he damages it, it becomes bigger and bigger. So he gets way, way larger when your opponents are forced to block him. That's why I love the Senjir Vampire so much. My original version used Nev's Disc initially, but right now, when you're going against another mono black deck, Nev's Disc is actually too slow. So Pestilence is actually much faster because you can Dark Ritual a Pestilence on the second turn, and on the third turn, use it, wipe out everything, damage your opponent, then play your racks once your opponent's hand is low, and the damage just keeps piling on. So as you can see there, first turn, rack. I didn't actually draw Dark Ritual on the first turn there. And then you've got Drain Lives. Then you have your Graders, as you can see there. Yep, and I finally get the Dark Ritual in the later turn. So you have an Unholy Strength on the Graders. So this is some sort of a Black Weenie discard strategy deck, similar to the one I played. And the cool thing about it is that my hippies were normally, during the mirror match, my Hypnotic Specters were actually stronger than my opponent's hippies. Mine were 4-3 and he just had 2-2 flyers. So they would just wreck the board. They would just wreck the state of a board. Man, it was just super, super amazing. An amazing way to actually end the game. Yeah, so here's the ideal draw. So I'm basically just showing the ideal draw where you get your him, like a first turn hippie. So yeah, then there's the him. So normally, ideal draw is Dark Ritual. There's the Dark Ritual. Ah, there it is. Dark Ritual, first turn Hypnotic Spectre, untap. In second turn, him to Torak. Discard his card, attack with the hippie. Then you play Varak, attack again. So you've already discarded 4 cards. Then he gets large. He becomes a 4-3 flyer. So now he'll have to deal with them. And then you play the rest of your creatures. Your Black Knights, your Senjir Vampires. Oh yes. Such an amazing deck. Such an amazing draw. And there you have it. And Mickey Mouse showed up. So basically, my wish list for this year 2023 is to get a full play set of Beta Pestilences. They're currently in high market right now. Nobody's touching them, so that's really, really good. Gives me time to just wait it out and wait for the prices to plummet, the prices to drop. Because once these bad boys go down, I'm gonna get a play set of these beta bad boys. And why? Because beta cards were super rare back in the day. Back then, we were flooded with unlimited cards. We had a lot of unlimited cards available. They were just like as common as revised cards back then. Beta cards were super hard to find because people didn't import beta back then. We didn't have a constant supply of beta. It was more of a supply of 4th Ed. The 4th Ed was large. Revised, not so, but we did have a large supply of revised, but most shop owners hoarded the rares. So the rares are really hard to find, but beta, super rare from where I'm from. Once again, hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. This is the Sly Guy TV with Sly Guy signing off right now. Yeah, Pestilence and discard. We've got the rack and him to Torak, Oh, the good old days of Magic where you'd stomp your opponent with discard, stomp with discard, and him to Torak. discard everything. Oh yeah, we go.